Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
We're Fleesa. We began as a credit card company, and thanks to customer allegiance and 29% interest fees that retain clients for life, we became a bank. But we're more than that. We're a brokerage firm, too. What's better than a bank investing your assets for our profits in the safety and security of the stock market? Hey, America's been through some tough times. We've all had to make some sacrifices in health and dignity to make ends meet. At Fleesa, we've sacrificed our integrity and spent a fortune lobbying so that regulations don't bog down the future. Fleesa, credit cards, banking, brokerage. It's time to start paying for everything.
Shut up and sit down.
Welcome, everybody, to a brand new episode of Third Shift. This is episode 481, and I, of course, am one of the hosts, Mr. Eric. And with me today, as always, except for the 1 week we missed, is Mr. Matt, the Inglorious Bastard himself. He's back. We're rocking and rolling. We're here to have some fun, do some gaming stuff, talk about this and talk about that. And, of course, you know how it goes. Before we do that, we've got to talk about how the week has been, except for it's been 2 weeks. So now we get to talk about 2 weeks instead of only 1 week. So, hey, Matt, how the hell's it been?
It's been great, because if you're talking about 2 weeks, then you're talking about like 2.5 weeks, because we haven't had a show since Thanksgiving existed. If I put that in my show notes piece while we were talking during the pre-show, and oh man, I can say that Thanksgiving was great. And Mom and I did a turkey breast this year, not like a full turkey. So I'm a little sad that I don't have 5 to 10 days of leftovers of turkey to eat, but I do still have some stuffing that I'm eating. So the bit is still alive. The bit is still alive, folks, but there's extenuating circumstances to why the bit is still alive. It would be done otherwise, but Thanksgiving was great. Wonderful time. Hey, we also did the cousins and their kids. They did a birthday party for Mom over at the East Lansing Public Library. Brought the kids along, it was a nice little party, which was cool. They have never done that before. Usually when I do birthdays for Mom, we just go out to dinner or I buy food and have it delivered or whatever. So it's kind of cool to have a little something special, a little party to do. And then I'm not going to go into details because the people who need to know already know. And if they need to know and don't know, I'll talk to them myself later. But that same day, or no, that's not right. That same day I started feeling bad. And then the very next day I went to the hospital because I almost died. I'm here though. I'm feeling good. And it is just a weird thing though. When you have something go wrong and you come home to the place where the thing happened, it's happened in the middle of the night. So I was like, got home, got released. Okay, I feel pretty good. I got all the stuff I need. All right, it's time to go to bed though. Where it happened. Like, is that, feels weird. But at the same time, you got fixed because you're at the hospital. So should you even think about it anymore? Because you're fixed. But are you? It's a weird situation to be in. But I'm here. If you already know, then you know. If you don't know, then you probably don't need to know. But that's what happened. That's why we missed a week. Health concerns on my end. But I'm back and we're here. I'm just going to talk about the video game front. There's no way to segue out of that. I don't care. You don't care. Video game front, man, it's been 2 weeks. I have 3 things to talk about, apparently. One is that I 100% completed 5 Hearts Under One Roof 2. Yes, what a great game. I think I talked about it on the What You Playing, but not like on the show proper, because we haven't done a show proper. The game's great, and it's goofy, and it's fun, and it's cute. I also did play, that's another thing I could talk about, another game that is that style, that visual novel FMV style, but it was made by an American company. I can't remember what it was called, I don't have Steam open. It was like Made in Hollywood or something, or like Famous in Hollywood, where the story arc, you're an extra working on this soap opera, but the lead actor goes crazy. You get put in his place. So now you're talking to like the script writer and the makeup person and this person and that person and the big Hollywood starlet who's on the soap opera. And it's just like 5 Hearts Under One Roof 2. All these pretty ladies you get to talk to, but it's so silly and wacky, especially because it's like soap opera themed. So you do bad acting, quote fingers, on the soap opera, and then outside of it, people are different because they're not the character on the soap opera. You get it. That was a lot of fun too. I played through one storyline of that, pretty much explored all the routes on that one. I kind of had my fun with it. It was like $2, maybe $5. Same vibe as 5 Hearts Under One Roof. And I just had fun. And another game I had fun with was the There Are No Ghosts at the Grand demo. Downloaded that. That's the one that's you're repairing like a southern hotel in Louisiana, but it's also a musical. So I played the demo of that. The musical segments were pretty good, but it felt kind of weird and out of place. I don't know if maybe the full game does it better. And it ran like crap on my laptop, but I got to play it and I had fun with it. Also mixes in that power wash simulator thing where you're like stripping old paint off the walls and applying new paint and, you know, applying new decorations and whatever and vacuuming up broken things. That was a lot of fun. I forgot that I played it until I opened the show notes and saw that, because the only other thing I've been doing since I've been home, and I've been home for about a week now, is playing Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. That's the one thing I've been doing that makes me feel like my old self and puts a smile on my face. And I say tee-hee and I say har har. I've been busting through that game, doing every side thing as it becomes available. You know, I went and did the whole side evil pirate mission. That's all done. I got upgrades to all my stuff. It's wacky, it's wild, it's wonderful. But of course, as always, the only bad thing about that is doing all the side stuff. Now it goes, watch out, Goro pirates. I'm the big, tough story mission pirate. And I shoot him with like 3 cannonballs and his ship explodes into fire. And I go, I did it. I did what I was supposed to do, but it totally ruins the drama of any storyline scenario. But that's been a ton of fun. I love playing that. I loved playing it before anything happened, but that's like the one thing I got taste for right now. And it's just, it tastes good. So what about you, buddy? What you been doing these past couple weeks?
Oh, well, we had ourselves a Thanksgiving as well, and it was fantastic. I made lots of food, and then nobody ate any of it. It was a sad time because, of course, I have a lot of picky family members and whatnot, so half the stuff doesn't get eaten. So I then decided, I said, no, for Christmas, we're not doing this again. I'm doing the Asian food on Christmas whole shtick. So we're just ordering a bunch of cool Asian food and having that for our Christmas, because I don't feel like cooking for 4.5, 7 hours, whatever it was, to then just have a 10-minute dinner and most of it just all stay right there in its dish and then get wrapped in tinfoil and put away to be eaten only by me for about 2 days before I get sick and tired of it and throw it all in the trash. But we're going to do that. But it was still fun. It was still great. And it's always nice to have family come over and sit down and everyone's around and food's aplenty. There's just a good feeling when that happens. And I might miss it just a sconch on the Christmas when we do the other one. But I think overall it'll be a better, more pleasant experience because I'm not cooking and I'm eating something delicious that I want to eat anyway. So it's a 10-10. It works. It works for everybody. So that happened. And then anything else in real life? Not really. Nothing crazy going on. I'm just marching forward, doing the shtick and keep on trucking. And then the game in front, pretty simple. 2 weeks straight now of just straight up Battlefield 6. Playing that pretty much every night or every other night with family members. And it's one of those games, just like Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, having such a great time. But I feel like I relearn it every night. Every night I get back to it. And the first round, I'm just dying, getting shot constantly, not making any progress. And then it ramps up, and then I'm actually in it, and now I'm starting to place on the board. But it's ultimately a game that I suck at, that I have hundreds of hours in. And it always feels weird to me when I'm like, hey, look, it's 114 hours in this game, and you're trash. You suck. I'm just not good at shooter games like that. I'm not good at it. But I'm still always placing on the top because I go do objectives. So, like, if you ask if I suck, yes, but no, because I do nothing but get objectives. So I'm at like 16, 17 objectives where the average is like 7 or 8 for everybody else. So I'm doing more than anybody else is, but I can't kill anybody to shake a stick at. If I get in a positive KD, ratio, that's a miracle on 9th Street right there. So it's that kind of thing where it's like, yeah, I can't fight. I can't help nobody win anything. I just hide and take objectives and go to the next one, hide and take objectives. So overall, loving it, having a good time with it, but it is just strange. I don't know, so many hours into a game you're never going to be good at, never have been good at. It's just like, weird. It's just weird to me. And then, of course, the only other game I've touched is just like Matt, Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Been playing that. That's one of the 2 games I want to finish for sure before the end of this year. But time is ticking, and it's going so damn fast, and I'm not playing like nearly as much as I was hoping to be playing. So things are starting to fall apart, and it's not real stress level, but the stress level of it's like ramping up significantly. Where I'm like, okay, I'm about to just fail out on all these unfinished games. Oh god. But I can't help myself because the side quests come, and I want to do them, and I want to go dink around and have fun. like I always do in these games. So I just do it because that's what I want to do. But then I go, Eric, you accomplished nothing. You just went and did 17 more handcuff missions and this and that. You're not going to beat this game. You're going to literally take the rest of the month just to play this and still probably not beat it. And screw yourself. This is what you're going to do. Well, but this is the game I want to play when I play anything but Battlefield. So I'm like, I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to play what I want to play. So I'm not going to stop it, but I feel like this game's it's going to get me. It's going to chop my feet off and screw me over for the end of the year. But I finally did get back to Hawaii again. I wanted to go just start doing all the extra pirate missions. But I went, no, Eric, go to Hawaii and open that back up again. See what there is there first. Because I definitely need more crew members anyway. Fill things out and become a god on the seas instead of just pretty damn good. Like right now, nothing's been able to stop me. But I have a feeling there'll be a hard checkpoint if I don't go to Hawaii and get a bunch more crew members and abilities and upgrades for the ship and whatnot. So we're going to go do that. And that's where I left off at. I was getting back to Hawaii, having to go talk to an important NPC that wants to have a little chit-chat with my boys Jason and the boys, Noah and whatnot. They gotta figure some stuff out and make some deals. So yeah, that's been the game in front, Matt. That's what I've been up to up until this point right here.
Speaking about this point right here, since it's been 2.5 weeks since we've been talking about stuff, there have been so many good games that released, but I'm going to tell you about one that released just recently, which is Death Howl, which dropped on the 9th, so yesterday as we're recording this, developed by the Outer Zone, published by 11-Bit Studios, for PC, PS5, and Xbox only. This is a game I played the demo of a long time ago when it was demo days, and I played some Death Howl, and it was great. This is say it with me, folks, a roguelike deck builder, but it also is strategy, like units on a map, tactical RPG, sort of a little bit. This is a game where it's like Sweden or Norway 6,000 years ago. Shamans and shamans are all about. And this lady who is a shaman/shaman, her son dies and he gets taken off to the spirit realm. And she's so torn up, she ain't about that. She's going to go get him from the spirit realm. So that's what you're doing in this game is you're going, it's not grid-based as you're walking around, but you're exploring these really beautiful, really dark, really evocative areas to try and find, I think you're trying to find like 4 great spirits who will then help you get your son back, probably once you've beaten them in combat. But you're going through all these areas, and each one is themed. So if you're going through this really white area, it's all about snow, and it's all about frost, and it's all about frost effects. If you go to this poison swamp, well, guess what? It's going to be poison. It's going to be swamp. Everything's going to be doing poison damage. You're going to be getting a lot of cards that allow you to deal poison damage, that kind of thing. So as you traverse the realms and you fight these enemies in this tactical combat, so you go and then you find some enemies that are kind of freewheeling on the map. But as you get close to them, you see like a little grid come to pass on the ground. Once you step into that grid, that's when you initiate combat. And like I said, it's tactical combat, so you can move on the grid, but all your attacks are the cards that you've built up into your deck. It's just like any deck builder. You start off with regular dumb attacks. Once you start killing enemies, harvesting their souls a little bit, you get Death Howls, literally the name of the game, from big enemies. You can use those to either upgrade your abilities, like in a skill tree, or to craft new cards so you can kind of get their abilities from those different enemies. It's a lot of fun. I will say the art style is really cool. It's like a mix between pixel art and not comic book style, but like old style, maybe like cave paintings, kind of. It's really lush and colorful, but it's kind of that kind of wispy sort of style. It's really unique. Go check out a trailer, go check out some gameplay. I mean, if deck builders aren't for you and roguelike deck builders aren't for you, this won't be for you either. But if you like those systems, this is a really cool take on it. And like I said, it's all spiritual. It's all going into the realm of spirits and trying to get your son back. And big spirits are definitely telling you things like you probably shouldn't be doing this. So it might be sort of Shadow of the Colossus-y. I don't know. The demo that I played was really cool. I played it a few months back, but it definitely had that like something interesting is going on here type of edge on top of the rogueliting, the deck building, the tactical combat. I liked the feel of the story because like you're doing something you're not supposed to do, but is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Are you going to pay the price to get him back? That you're going to be the one that stays? I don't know. But Death Howl is pretty cool. It's been getting some good reviews. I watched a couple of them. I didn't write down where I saw the reviews from, but it looked like even more of the demo that I played that I liked. So go check out Death Howl if you're interested in any of that kind of cool stuff.
Well, I'll tell you what. I got one that comes from 2 weeks ago. because this was going to be a release for last week, and that's a Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Everyone's been waiting for this game for a very long time. It had a lot of troubled moments. It went from Bandai Namco over to its founding studio, Retro. And of course, it is now out, December 4th. Retro Studios finally did it. It's out in the world only for the Nintendo Switch 1 and 2, so either or. Running at 60 frames per second, which is very important. You get to return to a brand new planet, an undiscovered planet called Vuros with Samus Aran and the team, because, of course, this time around, you've got NPCs coming to help you and some that are not there to help you. But then you meet some locals, and they want you to help them fix this planet or find something on this planet, and you agree to do so. And there's a lot of vicious characters that want to eat you, disembowel you, and do what they want to do here. And you, as Samus, you're going to go uncover all the mysteries of this place and figure out how to help these people, whilst your buddies help you, and then some of your other buddies that aren't really buddies try to stop you, because that's what it's all about. Now, it's first person, just like all the Prime games are. And from what I was told, because I haven't touched this yet, because I just don't have time, that this one, whilst it follows very true to the Prime mechanics, and it's going to feed you what you want from the Prime mechanics, it doesn't really change or do anything new or different from the said Prime games of old. So if you really like how it was back then, you're going to like this. But if you were hoping that's years of innovation and the changing of the gaming market and how games function at its core was going to change Prime in any way, shape, or form, the reviews I watched said it did not. It is going to be more Prime, so if you like that, you're going to like it. However, on a negative note, this one is much more linear than the previous Primes were, whereas the previous Primes, you would traverse all over the place, just like you would in the old 2D Metroids, and you'd have to backtrack and go all over constantly because you'd uncover new weapons or new abilities which would allow you to get into different areas. This one, it has a hub world. Think Zelda Ocarina of Time, and you got this new ride, this new motorcycle called like the Viola or something like that, and there's things to do there, of course, and people to interact with, but then there's the hubs that you go to that have the different environments that you go to. Then that's where you go to do your side missions and all the sub-questing and everything else you're going to do in this game, and unlock those areas to then, of course, fight a giant Prime boss. It's, standard old school video game fare. That's how this plays out. And that's why it's a negative, is because to some, Metroid at its heart is, you backtracking and you finding things and taking notes. Whereas this one, you go from one hub to the next pretty much, getting the new abilities that's going to allow you to do the thing. And then when you're in those hubs, instead of it being completely opening and allowing you to just do anything, it's more path-oriented. There will be some backtracking and whatnot, but it's, hey, just follow this path and you're going to get to the thing you need to get to for the most part. And that, if you wanted the open-ended mystery of just figuring things out on your own, you're not going to get here. But that might have been done because they wanted to attract new players to Metroid, because Metroid's never been a huge popular game where it's getting millions and millions sold. Maybe that's what they're going for here. So they wanted to make it more accessible and easier for a new player to come in and just experience what it's like to be Samus, where they're really cool rockets and guns and everything else, and all these weird aliens and monsters that you encounter. The environments themselves looked very, very plush, very rich, very nice. You got to remember, this is made for Switch original, so you're not getting to get, anything that's on a PlayStation 5 level. So you have to take that into account. But Nintendo always works magic, and I know this is Retro working with Nintendo, but you know what I'm talking about. The games they care about, they always find ways to make them still look really good, even though it's not, running the way it probably should. But at 60 frames per second, I still think that's awesome, and I appreciate that, because nothing's better than just a rich, smooth experience, especially if you're going to do a first-person shooter, which this is what this is. And then, of course, music from the reviews, spot on, 100% rocking. If you love Metroid music, this knocks it right out of the park, so you're still going to get all that, and you're still going to get all the different weapons and cool arrays and things that Samus gets, and the really neat boss fights where you got to figure out the weak points and then guide them around the room and do what you got to do. Typical of all of the other Metroid games. In a nutshell, this is Metroid Prime, and it's here, and it's a brand new experience, and it's really good. But once again, the couple reviews I watched last week both kind of had the same opinion. That is, even though good, it's the worst of the 4 now true Prime games in the Metroid series, but still definitely worth buying and playing if you enjoy the Metroid Prime series, which I did, and I do. So I definitely want to check this one out, and I advise you all to go look for yourselves, because it looks really solid to me. even though it might change a little bit from what it was before. Go check it out.
Another thing you got to go check out is the free games. It's the free games section, y'all. They got lots of free games out there for you, especially since it's been 2 weeks on the Game Pass. There are 1,000 games. And you hear me, I can barely make it. I can barely speak. I can barely do anything right. So what I did was I looked at the Game Pass things. I went, I think maybe this was the last game I talked about on the Game Pass. And I scrolled back and scrolled back and scrolled back. I said, there's too many games. What I'm going to do is pick out the big hitters. Apparently I picked out like 10 separate games. So I'm just going to tell you about the games I picked out. You got Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden, a game that I always wanted to play when that first came out and never had a chance to. You got Marvel Cosmic Invasion, that Marvel characters beat 'em up game that everybody says looks pretty cool. You got Lost Records Bloom and Rage, which is that Don't Nod style. Remember, we were teenagers in the 80s and everybody loved that when that came out. That's there for you on the Game Pass. You got Routine, which is that new survival horror-ish. You're on the moon. This is the one that had like the VHS style overlay, like the retro graphics. Not the retro graphics, but you know what I'm saying. It kind of looks like Alien Isolation. There's robots and it's scary and you're going, oh my God, scary robots. You got Death Howl, which I just talked about. You got a game called Dome Keeper, which if you like facilities games, like building out facilities and lower floors and all this other stuff and get resources, that's one that's been on my list for a while. You got, this is literally the title, a game about digging a hole, which I know blew up on Twitch a while ago. And obviously it gets to be about more than digging a hole, but it's one of those games that starts off like this and then it explodes into this and you didn't expect that. That's free on Game Pass. You got Ultimate Sheep Raccoon, which is that game we talked about that looks exactly like Uniracers, but you're playing wacky barn animals like riding motorcycles instead of being a sentient unicycle. And then you got Mortal Kombat 1 for Howard, even though he's probably played it to death already. That's a big release. That one's not for me, but it's one that I had to mention because that's a big game. It's a little older now, but if you never got to play Mortal Kombat 1, not 1, but the most recent Mortal Kombat 1, not Mortal Kombat, but Mortal Kombat 1, you get what I'm saying? It's a bit, hey, check it out. Go look at all those things. And then there's even more things on the Game Pass that I missed, but check them out.
There are indeed more things over there, but there's also stuff over on Epic. You got from last week, the Dark Side Detective for you to go pick up. Bam, bam, bam. Then you've got the Jackbox Party Pack 4. That's always a ton of fun if you got a group of people over and you want to have a good time. Tons of great games in there for you to have a, drinking freaking finanzos. So go pick that up. It's free. And then I was going to tell you about the next game too, but because it's the Game Awards, they're doing a special one. So the 11th, which is tomorrow, everybody, the Game Awards day. The reason why we're shooting one day before is because we're going to want to watch the Game Awards, et cetera, et cetera. You're getting probably a big game because it's a mystery game. It's doing the whole thing, getting everything all riled up like it does for Christmas and whatnot. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what it is, but you'll have to wait till tomorrow to see. Then over on Amazon Free Games, you've got Lego 2K Drive for you to pick up. Then you got an oldie but a goodie, Forgotten Realms: The Archives Collection 1. And on top of that, you've got GYLT. I don't know what that is, but it's a game for you to go pick up if you want. Then the 11th, which is tomorrow, which is now, if you're listening, you can go pick up some more games over there as well. And that's Forgotten Realms: The Archives Collection 2, another oldie but goodie. Christmas Adventure Candy Storm. Who doesn't want to go have a great Christmas adventure? It's the Christmas time. This is the perfect game to pick up and play with your family and friends and just get all nostalgic about that wonderful, wonderful Christmas tree and the snows that are falling and all the cool stuff about Christmas. They got it for you. Thank you, Amazon Free Games. You're doing your job. You're doing it right.
Hey, man, speaking of doing your job and doing it right, I actually have one tiny news piece as I was trying to fend off the Grim Reaper. And I was like, you're not the cool one from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. I could totally beat you at Battleship or at a video game, but you're the different one. Get out of here. I even found and remembered and saved in my open tabs in Safari on my browser on my phone one thing to talk about. And there's not a lot to talk about because I am 100% in agreement with it. But you mentioned the Game Awards, and I think they mentioned it when the Game Awards nominees came out. What's the category called? Just best performance or vocal performance or whatever?
I think it's best performance, yeah.
It's all clear, obscure people. And one of them, that day, said, hey, I appreciate this award, but I'm really going to want to have to share this with the guy who did the performance capture for me, who is this other guy that nobody knows. So I pulled up this article from VGC that as the days went on, more and more and more of the Claire Obscure Expedition 33 cast chimed in and said, actually, hey, the Game Awards should have a motion capture category. And I 100% agree with that. Now, most big games, the voice actor or facial actor or whatever does do the motion capture also. But in cases like this, where you hear the voice, but it's not, they didn't pay to fly the voice actor over to France or wherever it is, that's 100% a thing you should do. Plus, vocal performance and facial performance and like actual motion capture are like 3 totally different skills. Like you can do some great voice acting in games. We've seen it all the time. But if the performance doesn't feel real, it's not bad, but it's just like, oh, okay. But then you have a game like, I'm just going to say, because I felt it in Mind's Eye, you had the performance and the voice and the face, it all melded together. Those dudes felt like real buddies. Like everything was right in that aspect. And I know there's a million other games you could say that with, but like when the actual physical motion capture performance is right, it brings you so much more into that scene, that game. So I think they have a great point. Hopefully next year they'll do voice acting and performance acting. And if there's crossover, hey, great. That means that somebody did a great job in both aspects. But I thought it was something cool that they brought up. Most of them like acknowledged all the great people who helped them make that game better. So there you go. They did a great job. I'm here telling you about it. Game Awards, step your game up. Make another category for me to get right in my constant victories over Eric. You know what I'm saying?
These are all lies, but I think the only reason they wouldn't would be exactly what you already mentioned, would be redundancies, just because there is going to be so much crossover. But I think it still should happen because there's still a lot of old school, like Ratchet and Clank type games and whatnot, where the voice may be fantastic and obviously, but it has nothing to do with any motion capture. So I still think that would be a good idea. I think they should reconsider that and maybe get rid of a couple of the categories that mean you just basically run and skip over anyway. And if we do that, guess what? A bajillion other people do that as well. Let's be real. Y'all know it. Now, speaking, of course, staying with the Game Awards, sorta. Last week, so this is kind of old now, but it still hasn't been solved, and we're not going to find out till tomorrow night. Jeff Keighley, he was hyping up the Game Awards, and he showed off this real-world image of this weird carving with like these human-like demonic kind of creatures, and then he put regal, inspiring thickness in the response there. So everybody started going, what's this all about? Is this like it's like a hint at what's going to be revealed at the Game Awards? Most likely, yes, of course. People thought it was like Diablo and this and that. A couple of them got immediately, debunked by the said developers or publishers saying, no, it's not us for sure. We're not doing anything. And the latest one, as Matt put in there, is that it might be a Divinity reveal, that they might be going back to a new Divinity game, which there was a couple articles I saw, but didn't really go into depth on. That is a very good probability since, of course, we know they're working on a new title and we know it has nothing to do with D&D. But since they're on this shtick of making these badass RPGs, they might be going back to their own IP. So they might be going back to that. But we'll find out imminently, so it kind of doesn't matter at this point. But I kept it there just because it was fun and it was neat to look at and kind of wonder what would fit the bill while the last week has gone by. And I didn't really come up with anything. For me, it was Diablo, but then that got, like I said, debunked. So I went, oh, okay, well, I'm out of this race. And then I thought, maybe, I did think Doom DLC. I also went, maybe it's like a Doom DLC or something. But nobody else agreed with that or said anything, so I assumed that was dead in the water as well. That's all I had for it. Nothing big. I don't know if you thought about it at all while you were dying and whatnot.
I thought about it for a half second because I think it was revealed right before I died. And it was like, hey, here's this weird, cool obelisk, totem pole looking thing with all these demons and skeletons and stuff on it. And I couldn't think of anything at the time. I kind of thought Doom because, demons and ugly and yuck. Mm-hmm. And then I thought about, it's probably one of the, here's a predictor for the Game Awards. One of the 5 dark Souls-like games that's going to be revealed. That's what I thought. I was like, it's going to be like Mortal Shell 2 or 3, whichever one they're on now. Or what's the one with the light? Lords of the Fallen 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whichever one that is. But that's all I thought. But beyond that, I didn't have a clue anyway until I saw the hint about possibly being Divinity. Who knows? Whatever it is. We like reveals. We like cool things.
We're going to see it fresh tomorrow. If you guys had an idea and if you're right, just definitely let us know in the Discord because I'd love to know if anybody was on the mark with it. And of course, via Push Square, there was an article that came up once again last week, but I'm still going to stick with it because it's still cool and fresh and makes me very sad, was that due to the further layoffs that they had over at the Eidos Montreal studio, it came to light that one of the canceled projects was a Legacy of Kain or Soul Reaver reboot. It is now gone and dead, and we will never see it. And that makes me super sad because either of those fully rebooted, fully redone. Oh, man, a remake of either of those would have been just fantastic. So to see and know that for sure was what was happening and now it's dead, just made me sad. And I just want you all to know and be sad with me that something that could have been is no more and never will be. A moment of silence. All right. And another one I got a quickie here was also via Push Square last week. CDProjektRed announced that despite Cyberpunk 2077's upcoming anniversary on December 10th, which is right now as we speak, there will be no announcement of a new upcoming sequel of Cyberpunk 2077. We know it's coming, but they're not going to have a further announcement. There's going to be no trailers. There's going to be nothing new for Cyberpunk 2077's next game. And it breaks my heart, Matt. Breaks my heart. I was really kind of low-key hoping that we were going to get a nice big rip trailer of what's next in the Cyberpunk world.
Now, I agree with you, because they did talk about that it'll be in a different city like a year or so ago, whenever that was. So it would be nice to hear some announcements or at least a few more details on the sequel. But, if it's a big anniversary for Cyberpunk, why don't they add my most requested feature and like an anniversary date with Judy in that game? That's the most important feature. Working on a sequel, I guess that's fine. But you know what? If it's an anniversary, I need to celebrate my anniversary with my in-game girlfriend. That's what's most important right now. So I'm sad, but also I just gave you guys a $12 billion idea. $29.99 DLC just for anniversary dinner. I will pay it. I will pay it 10 times over, even though I can't do it because I don't own it 10 times. That's what I'm saying. You say anniversary in CDProjektRed, it's about time for our anniversary because we were playing it the end of one year and into the January of the next year. My anniversary with her is coming up. That's what I'm talking about.
Same with me and Pan Am, We're just going to have ourselves a blast. They should have done some really cool postcards with me and Pan Am on the beach or doing something great and having a good time.
Yes.
That would have been even fun or cool. But alas, it seems as if we're getting nothing from them for now, which another part of me is okay with. I do hate hearing about a game that's still like 5 or 6 years out. And it's just kind of like, okay, I might be literally dead when that comes out. You're just too far ahead. You're too far. So I guess it's fine if you just disappear for a bit. That way I'm not getting sad that you're not coming to show me cool stuff.
And 5 or 6, that's being way too optimistic for that, sir.
I know.
Because I'm still saying you got 2 years until Witcher comes out.
Yeah.
And then 10 more years
at
after
least
that.
Before that.
Yeah.
We'll see. Time will tell with that. And then I got a couple more for you. One I didn't put in the show notes, so I'll do it now. Was that I just saw today, actually, that Netflix bought Warner Brothers and now owns them. Now, once again, I don't really care that much. Warner Brothers has a ton of IP, ton of movies, tons of things behind it. I know why Netflix wants it, because now it's going to be able to have its repertoire of movies and shows. It's going to explode, which then they'll also be able to justify raising the prices again on us in the coming months. So expect that little happiness. But what I didn't expect was an article that just popped up today in that I guess they go, well, hey, you guys realize you have like Mortal Kombat 1, Hogwarts Legacy. You got several of these game developers under your belt now that produce, really good games, Batman, Arkham, and whatnot. And the big dog goes, yeah, we got them, but we didn't put them in the pay plan at all. We actually don't think that they're really worthy of any attention and or money. But it's neat that we have them. So I'm like, oh wow, okay. Uh-oh. He said now on the bright note, he did say, I think there might be some potential with it, but we didn't really care. And I'm paraphrasing this, mind you. You go read the article and get his direct quote. But from what I gathered, we didn't really care about the acquisition of those game studios. We were after Warner Brothers, the TV/movie side. And he said that the gaming side makes pretty much no money that they give any poops about. But he said maybe there's potential there. That doesn't bode well, Matt. That doesn't bode well for those studios. So I feel like they might be finding new homes under other big publishers pretty soon, piecemealed out to whoever buys them up. My Mortal Kombat's, they're going to get bought up, obviously. But will the others? Everybody's hated on, it's Rocksteady, right? Yeah.
Rocksteady, yeah.
Yes. Everyone's been hating on them like nobody's business after their last couple failures. So I don't know. Hogwarts was successful, but before that, really did Avalanche have much value besides Hogwarts. You know,
Right.
I don't know. It's going to be kind of weird. It might be not a good time for the game studios. It was just a shock to me to have the big dog himself come out and go, yeah, we actually didn't care at all about that part. That's not why we did this at all.
I'm already very pessimistic about this acquisition and merger because, you know, obviously Netflix sent me an email about it as a subscriber. So I knew that day. And they went, hey, check out our dumb press release where we say, this is going to be great for the entertainment industry. No, it's not. Conglomerations buying everything up is never good. Also, you're going to do this, and then you're going to buy another one, and you're going to buy another one, and then you're going to turn into Embracer and go, blah, blah, blah. We ruined everything. Nothing came out as a hit because we put all our stuff out on Netflix, and it doesn't actually make us money, so it doesn't make any damn sense. So there's that. B, I'm concerned because AEW works with Warner Discovery for their streaming deal and their broadcast deals. And I think they said this didn't affect like live TV, but obviously they swallow up HBO Max, which is where AEW streams at. They just got that deal, I think, within a year. So that could ruin that. And then you say, awesome game devs, we just swallowed it all up and we don't know what to do with it. Okay, so you guys are going to put Hogwarts Legacy on Netflix games, which nobody will use it for. And then you're just going to, golly. We always say this. I hate this mergers and acquisitions crap anyway. Big company buy another big company and take big company things. But just to hear legitimately from the person's mouth, yeah, we don't know what we're doing with that. I didn't even expect or think about that. Sheesh. Get out of here.
Yeah, it's definitely bad news. Pretty sad all around, especially since I have Netflix currently and I know it's coming. I know we're going to get charged even more for it. And it's like, I already paid more than I really almost don't know if I really want to anymore as it is. So I'm just going to be out of everything. I'm just not going to have any subscription services anymore because I just don't ever feel fully justified in any of them I get. For like a month sometimes I'll feel Crunchyroll's the only one I do that I feel fulfilled with, you know, and HBO once in a while when I just let shows pile up, then I just go subscribe for a month, slam them, and then I'm like, yeah, that felt good, and then I cancel. But we've kept this one around for quite a while now, but I feel like it's getting right on the ropes now where I'm like, I might just let you go, buddy. You might all be dead.
Well, I mean, you got like a year before they start shelling off and splintering off like Embracer Group did. So then Paramount Plus will get the HBO Max stuff, and then Peacock will get some of the Netflix library, but not all the Netflix library. Would have to be half the Netflix library.
Don't get me started on watching like college football nowadays. Oh, well, this week it's on Peacock. Next week it's on Paramount. Next week it's on Fox Sports. Next week, what is going on? It's going to do the same thing with shows and everything else. I get it. It's a sad day.
Since we're talking about streaming services and garbage, I'm experiencing that right now because WWE took their pay-per-views off of Peacock, which I have for other stuff, and that. Oh, those are now on ESPN Unlimited. But you can't get that in a bundle with anything else. It has to be like its own side thing. Or you can get it with a Disney Plus bundle, but only if you fracture out. You can't get the HBO Max, which I want for the AEW. So you have to get $39.99 on top of that. But that'll stay that way for like a year and a half until it goes to Paramount Plus or to Netflix or to this or down or left or right. I'm getting sick of that. Obviously, everybody's been sick of that crap for a long time, but I'm sick of stuff leaving a service to go on to another service, but pieces of it stay on the old service. So you can't get rid of that. So you got to just add on the other one. Terrible.
It's almost like they're all working together in the background, Matt. It's really weird. Huh.
Just scamming up all your money. Oh, golly.
Jeez, oh, jeez. Well. And the last bit of news, folks, that I've got for you today was that John Romero's canceled game has been revived, but it's going to be on a much smaller scale now that they don't have the Microsoft funding that they previously had, hence why the game was actually going to be cut and going bye-bye. He did find funding for it. It didn't state in the article where he found the funding for it, but he's got the funding for it now, albeit on a smaller scale. He's got 110 people working with him, and they're not starting from scratch, he said. He said that they've got tons of stuff from what they were previously working on, and they're implementing it into this new, smaller-scaled project, and he's very excited about it. He says he took inspiration from Elden Ring and how Elden Ring kind of changed things up and didn't create a brand new genre, but kind of just really changed what gaming can do and how gaming can feel. He said he took inspiration from that, and he hopes to do that with the first-person genre in this game. Now, I saw in the forums a lot of people talking a lot of trash about John Romero. which is crazy because he's a legend, he's an icon. But apparently he's done a bad game, Dichotoma or something like that, I guess, was a complete failure. And a lot of people are saying this dude's a hack and he can't do anything good because he sucked on that game. I don't know what this game was or is, and I have no idea. So maybe they're right, I don't know. But I enjoy John Romero and praise him for what he did with the Doom series. He changed everything with that. So I want to give the man a chance, and I hope he can somehow make this first-person genre, change it up to where it's got a new experience, like, sort of like Elden Ring did. I don't know. I got my fingers crossed that he does a good job, but I don't have the history of following him and understanding what he did with that game and whether or not maybe he kind of is old and washed up. Maybe all those haters are right.
Now, I'm definitely not saying the haters are right, and I've never played the game myself, but I know Daikatana was like, oh, it's a big, expansive first-person shooter, and you have, like, companions and companion quests and all this other stuff, and it got to be, like, from what I understand, too many separate things going on, so nothing ever worked quite right, or something like that, or, like, you could completely fail this because you're having to do companion stuff, and this and that, and up and down, and it's a notorious failure in the gaming industry. But that's the first thing that popped in my mind, just because that's one thing I know. He tried to expand on the first-person shooter and failed. But hey, it's the gaming industry. If people can only fail once, what kind of industry is this? And he's a legend in the industry, so I love seeing legends stick around. I love having people take systems or game types and put new spins on them. So I'm not going to poo-poo it. I'm just going to say, hey, go nuts, man. I was sad to hear that his project got canceled when, Microsoft closed down his studio. So to be able to take that to your new place or your new business or your new whatever and revive it, that's great news. It's nothing but great news. Hopefully he turns out a really great game with it too. I am wishing the best for him. That's all I can say.
Yeah, same here. Wish the best for him and his team. I'm glad he got 110 people sticking around doing it. Go do what you got to do. Hopefully in a few years we see what you made, and it's awesome. Good luck. Godspeed.
Hey, you know what else is awesome? And I got to say good luck to a lot of you out there on it.
Oh, Jesus.
It's Uncle Matt's Trivia Corner. Now I'm going to ask you 4 questions in a row because it's been a while. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say, if you remember from a number of weeks ago, the previous question was, which 2018 pirate-themed game was developed by Rare? That, of course, was Sea of Thieves. Now, this week's question, it's a long question. Why is it such a long question? The Russian folk tune Korobeiniki, I'm sure I pronounced that wrong, is commonly referred to as the theme of which classic 1984 video game, thanks to its use in the later Game Boy port? You got it correct. You managed to extract all the info you needed out of all that crap that I asked. 100% a point for you, Mr. Eric. 20 points to Gryffindor. Is that a thing? Is that a thing that people say?
20 points to Gryffindor! Like that.
There you go. I don't watch those movies or read the books. I don't talk about no wizards, but what I do is I talk to you guys and I listen to what you got to say. So if you got any questions for us, any comments, any concerns, if you got the answer to that like our buddy Eric did, you can send that to us via the email, thirdshiftme@gmail.com, on the Twitter machine @ThirdShiftME. Find us on Facebook under Third Shift. Hit up the Discord. Hit up the Patreon. If I'm streaming, I might even stream the Game Awards. If I'm streaming, hit up a stream and say hello and say how you doing and say what happened to you, and I'll say you don't need to know. I'll shut up. I'm not telling you nothing. Don't talk to me about my problems. And then I guess that's the end of my segment there. I'm sorry. It was a downer. I'm sorry. I love you guys.
Sounds sort of like me sometimes when I start to get on my tangents about the 5-star ratings. Jeez, man. God bless. I'm supposed to be the one that does that. But anywho's, hey, we missed a week, everybody. And you know what? It hurts our hearts. It hurts us. Makes us feel sad. So if you want to brighten us up, you go to Patreon. You can throw money at us. Woo! Make it rain over there. You know what I'm saying? Help us out. Keep the lights on. Keep everything rocking and rolling so we can keep doing this show for the next 30, 40, 50 years, everybody. But I'll tell you, if you say, oh, man, I just spent $80 on a Pokemon card for my boy for Christmas. I can't give you the money right now, man. And I say, well, okay, well, that's fine. Because you can go give us a 5-star rating on the old Apple Podcast, 5-star rating on Spotify, which, once again, I'll reiterate, here's an up-and-coming thing, and everybody says it's important to get on there and do it right now. So go do that for us. You can also go to Discord, join up, have some conversations with us, and have some fun over there. Or go watch Matt streaming over on the Twitch when he's up and running. There's all sorts of fun ways to interact with us and have a good time, and we encourage you to do just that.
And we encourage you to listen to the very next episode, which will be dropping on around the 18th of December on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Podbean, on Spotify, and on YouTube. And as I always say, hey, if you like what we're doing, like to help us out, Please give us a like, a rating, a review, a comment, a subscription, any kind of good thing on any one of those good services, because it does help us out, and we really do appreciate it. And I'm just going to say right now, Eric, you can't say the words hurts our heart anymore. That's not funny. You can't say that no more. That we're banning that from the show. No, I don't appreciate that.
Oh, goodness. All right, I'll try. I can't promise anything, but you know what? You have the power, Matt, to just boop right out of existence. So you can do whatever you like, and if you don't like it, it won't be in the show. Will I ever know? I won't. I will never know. So it doesn't hurt either of us, however you want to say that. But with that being said, of course, consider those 5-star ratings for sure, for realsies. It does help. I've said it a billion times. I shouldn't have to reiterate why it does help, but it is actually important. Even though we jest about it constantly, it's actually important. So maybe someday, all you extra listeners, I see you all who listen and have not given us the 5-star ratings, go do it. Just go do it. It's like a Christmas present. So consider it. But hey, who am I? I'm just a schmuckatelli on here doing some gaming stuff, having a good time, and I will continue to do that anyways. So there you go.
And with that, there's nothing else to say but
Don't
forget to say.
Shut up and sit down.